Oh man, welcome to You Dad Me a Hello. I'm very excited to be here. We're going back to our high school days, guys. It's time for new metal.
Yeah.
No, for real though. Every song on this list and every song I was listening to in preparing for this list was like 9th to 12th grade for me. So, I mean, that was some good music days. That was what, 1998 to like 2002 for me. That was like a change of music for me. But how are you guys feeling this week?
I'm excited. I like music episodes, being a musician myself. And this is
Humble brag.
Humble brag. This is a weird time in music. It's a very specific time. You know, this isn't a decade. This isn't the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. This is a weird I don't know why you're pointing that out. Yeah. This is a very compact, strange time in music from the late 90s to the early 2000s when things got weird.
It really was. Like, I feel like music isn't this way anymore. I just feel like there's music everywhere. But at that time, like there was like boy bands and girl bands and or pop groups, and then there was like Linkin Park and new metal, and then there was like radio rock, like Nickelback was coming out and all those. And then you had like Boys to Men was still holding on. I think they had an album in like 01, 02. So you still had your R&B, 90s R&B, one of the best
Latin pop
genres of
coming
music.
out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You had what?
Like Latin pop as well.
Oh yeah. Ricky Martin.
Ricky Martin.
Ricky.
It was yeah. I totally missed what you said. It was an interesting time. I think it's different because we're older now, so we think that a lot of new music just stinks. At least me personally, I do. And that includes our stuff too, for sure.
Actually, I don't know if I agree, but what I find is the main difference is when I was growing up, you would buy an album, like you would listen to the album from start to finish.
True.
And now I have Spotify playlists where I know one song from 900 people, and I don't know any of their other stuff. So like, literally, I have Spotify playlist called Discover Indie, and it's like probably like 100, 200 artists deep, and I have one song from each of them, and I've never heard any of their other stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the streaming era has made things much different when it comes to music selection, for sure.
I mean, we're talking about the streaming era, like the start of the streaming era, where it was the illegal streaming, Napster, LimeWire, Kazaa, things like that, where
iMesh. Everyone used iMesh,
where it would take you 2 days to download.
That sounds like a problem a lawyer is going to help you fix.
It would take you 2 days to download the newest Linkin Park song, and then it wasn't them whatsoever. And it was more than likely a virus, like shut your computer down, and you got yelled at by your mom and your stepdad, and you weren't allowed on the computer for a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Never happened to me. Just a friend that happened to.
Yeah.
So the best thing is at Cranston East High School, I was in the computer lab for 4 years. I took computer classes. I helped out there. Like I loved being in the computer lab, and sometimes people would somehow be able to download LimeWire on some of the computers. And so you'd be downloading songs and stuff, or trying to, and you'd come back a couple classes later. And so the best part is you'd be waiting for this one song to download, and then you would hit play, and it would be like moans and noises in the background. It would actually be the song. And so you'd go to play it, and you'd be like, and you'd be like, that's not Linkin Park.
Thanks for the description. The example.
And then like the best part is like it even better is when it was like a song like Linkin Park in the end, and it is, but it's sung by some local band that just wanted to throw their own stuff on there. Rarely and occasionally I would find an actual local band I liked because of accidentally downloading them on LimeWire.
There was a song on LimeWire called Blood in My Eyes, And the way the description read, it said like Linkin Park, Sum 41, and a bunch of other bands. And it was like, oh, this big collaboration. And it was an awesome song, but it was none of those people. It was some, indie group. And like, I don't remember who did it. And I always Google like who sang this song. I can't find it anywhere, but people did say, oh, this is so-and-so, and totally not them. But I was like, man, that song probably got millions of downloads for falsifying information, but it was still a good song. So
these kids these days don't know the struggles of trying to find that one song to download, because now they'll have the Spotify.
Yes.
But hey, we're here. We're talking about, again, a genre of music that I think made its debut somewhere in our high school days, right? It was a subgenre of alternative metal that combined kind of heavy metal music with other elements of music, kind of like hip hop or funk or grunge. They drew influences from many different styles. And so a lot of different bands made it into the nu metal genre without actually being a nu metal band. And then others were just straight up nu metal most of the time. We have bands like Korn, Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, Papa Roach that we're going to talk about today, POD. And then there's others where they just might have a song that was considered nu metal. Even Disturbed makes an appearance on our list today, but I would not consider them to be a nu metal band. But yeah, so we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So if you're familiar with the nu metal genre, then you'll be happy to hear most of these songs today. If you're not, you probably do know most of these songs. We tried to stick with radio-friendly songs and not just songs that we knew. And so that's why you'll see songs maybe like Linkin Park's radio-friendly hit rather than some of our favorite Linkin Park songs that no one's ever heard.
The deep cuts.
Deep cuts.
Yeah, we generally try to stay away from deep cuts on this show because only the three of us would know what we're talking about.
And what's the problem with that?
I mean, most of the time that's probably true anyway.
Yeah,
this
ranting,
is ranting about something weird.
This is our show.
The kids are Googling.
Well, hey, we're going to start strong. Andy and Mike have not seen this list at all, and I've decided not to show the list as a whole. I just want them to be disappointed every time a bracket comes up. And so this is the first one. We've got Hoobastank's Crawling in the Dark versus POD's Boom. Crawling in the Dark, Hoobastank 2001 versus Boom's POD that came out the following year, 2002.
I got to go with the Hoobastank on this one.
This is
I don't know.
It's actually pretty tough.
I'm a POD fan, but Hoobastank was my first concert ever. I saw Hoobastank at Lupo's when it was right next to the Met, and it was Hoobastank and Green Wheel, which was an amazing show. So Green Wheel, man, you got to look them up. Their first album, Breathe, was their song. Melissa Etheridge actually covered it and made it more popular, and I hated her for it. But
yeah, because she's
I'm gonna go. I know. I'm gonna go with Crawling in the Dark.
Okay. I think I would have chosen the same. Yeah, really good song.
For anyone who doesn't remember, Boom is the boom. Here comes the boom. Ready or not.
Here comes the boy from the south.
The way I sing it now to the kids, they hate it. So it was in a movie called Here Comes the Boom with Kevin Smith, I think it was, which is a great movie, by the way, family movie. And but in it, they have this song, and I'm always like, boom, here comes the boom, ready or not. Here comes those boys from the south. And the kids hate it. So
yeah.
But yeah.
It's not my favorite POD song, but it definitely was very popular.
Super popular.
What is your favorite POD song then? Is it Youth of the Nation?
Youth of the Nation is probably my favorite song, which didn't make this list.
Mine's Southtown.
Southtown's pretty good too.
So I know the timing is not great, but Youth of the Nation was about a school shooting. If I'm not wrong, I feel like between 99, which Columbine I think it was 98 or 99, there was like a slew of high school shooting songs. Like it was that one. Flyleaf had another one. Cassie, I think it was called. And so I don't know why that was so popular to do. but they made it, and you just had it. Youth of the Nation. The only thing I don't like about that is that we are Youth of the Nation. They say that 150 million times throughout the song.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, it was relevant then. It was kind of like a shock.
Sadly, it's still relevant now, I guess.
Yeah, nothing's changed, unfortunately.
Yeah, these past couple weeks.
I feel like Debbie Downer.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, let's start talking about the music again.
I didn't know if we should even. Like, I wanted to mention something, but it's just I'd rather stand.
Hey, we're here. You might as well, right? We're here.
I mean, it's just it's sad. There's nothing really you can say. Politicians just need to step their game up and make some changes, and
that's all we can say.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, it's super sad, and a lot of sad stuff going on this week with that. Also, today found out Ray Liotta passed away at 67. Yeah, not been a fun week, I guess, overall. But hopefully tonight, and talking about some crappy new metal songs that you remember from high school, we can spread some high school new metal cheer.
Yeah, but POD's Boom, like you said, it was in that movie. It was in a bunch of movies. Rollerball, Grind. I never heard of that one. Biker Boys.
Grind was
I've never heard of any of these.
No, neither did I.
Yeah. Rollerball was that LL Cool J movie. I think Grind was a break dancing movie, or like a Step It Up kind of thing, if I remember.
No, correctly. Grind was about the skaters, the amateur skaters. I do remember that now. Okay, I'm looking at the cover of it, and I remember watching it now. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Why? It's funny how you forget entire movies. That's how good they were. But you look at the cover, you're like, oh yeah, I saw that. I have no idea what it's about, but I saw it.
Yeah.
No.
POD was a. I thought they were a pretty cool band. They were, I guess, faith oriented, right? I mean, they were. Yeah. I think they were. Some of them were Christians in the group.
They're pretty open about it. At least Sonny is.
And like very openly, like.
Yep.
Wasn't very crazy, like part of the lyrics.
No, their music wasn't. No, not at all. But I think their first album, which was a little bit more on the rap side, had probably more references to their faith. But. This was the big one off of Satellite, which is a huge album at the time.
Yeah.
Youth of the Nation, Satellite, Boom, all came from there. So
wasn't this used in like wrestling montage? Like I feel like a pay-per-view probably used this song too, and many times.
Was it one of the?
Why I don't like?
Might have been one of the No Mercies, or probably a Hell in a Cell or something.
Yeah. Well, hey, here we are. We're moving on to a lesser known one, Head PE's Blackout. Versus Limp Bizkit's Break Stuff. Tough one for me because Break Stuff is such a fun song. It's such an angry song, but Blackout is also super fun. I had not heard that song in a long time, and I'm not a fan of Head PE overall, but this Blackout song is good.
Yeah, I think
I am gonna go.
I was gonna say Breakout's kind of the sleeper on this one. Like it wasn't as popular as the rest of the songs on this list, but it's super fun.
It was their breakout song though.
It was, and it came out 2003, peaked at number 33 on the Billboard 200. Again, versus Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit, which came out a couple years earlier in 2000, off of my favorite album of theirs, Significant Other, which Very good. Wrestling theme song came from as well. Nobody Like You, great song. I'm gonna go with Break Stuff. It's probably more iconic for me. I just screamed it in the car today with my wife, so it was fun. So I'm gonna go with Break Stuff.
Break Stuff, definitely Break Stuff.
I'll go with Break Stuff as well, even though I love that Blackout song. When it came out,
this was kind of your pick. You kind of pushed this one through, so
I put it on my list first. I love this song. It made me go out and buy the album, which is funny because the band did not like this album in itself.
Not one bit.
They felt like they were really trying to play kind of corporate America, like trying to get, just something on the radio, essentially. So they hate this album. And I love it. I actually listened to the whole album again today because like that album is new metal, but they also did a lot of other genres. Like you heard a lot of like reggae influences as well, hip hop. Like every song I felt was different on that album. Whether or not they were just doing that to push whatever, it sounded good. But I started listening to like their first album, and it doesn't sound anything like what they sounded like.
Yeah, I mean they claimed that the record label sort of pushed them in this direction because nu metal was so big. Although in 2003 nu metal was kind of on a downturn. And even some outlets went as far as saying that Hed P had just become a Limp Bizkit clone. So a lot of people just kind of dismissed it. Critically it was panned. A lot of people didn't like it. The singer dismissed it as corporate junk because, again, they said they were just forced to record something in the sound to really fit in with what was popular at the time. So, probably not their favorite record.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised to realize that Hed PE has been coming out with albums ever since. They just came out with an album in 22, in 20, and 19, and 16, and 14. They are busy popping out albums, but I had no idea they were still together. And then Jared Gomes, the lead singer, ended up doing a bunch of stuff with DJ Muggs and Tech Nine and Twisted throughout the last couple of years as well.
That makes sense.
Pretty cool stuff. I'll have to go back and listen to it because I do like his voice a lot.
All
right, moving on. We've got an interesting pairing. We've got Evanescence, Bring Me to Life versus Korn's Freak on a Leash.
These could have been.
You look very disappointed.
These could have been the finalists right here. In all honesty,
yeah, and I'm afraid. I'm afraid because my wife is a huge Evanescence fan.
Again, though, Evanescence, I wouldn't consider Evanescence overall as nu metal, but this song is considered that. It does have Paul McCoy from one of my favorite old bands, 12 Stones.
12 Stones.
Which actually is a Christian band, but he did the guest vocals on this, which I think kind of makes it nu metal overall. Yep. But we got Bring Me to Life, which came out in 2003 off of their studio album Fallen, great album. And Freak on a Leash, which came out actually but way back in 1999 off of Follow the Leader, another great album.
Album's awesome. I'm gonna pick this time and just go with Freak on a Leash. And I will reserve my comments for when we get there.
Oh man.
Both great songs though.
RJ, can you make this easier for me? Or are you gonna make it difficult?
You know, I want to make. I'm torn too because "Bring Me to Life." You mentioned Tina. I don't know how many times we sung that song at karaoke. It's such a fun song. I mean, I hate it now. When I hear it, I'm like, "Oh, this is terrible." But at the time, I listened to that song for years. "Freak on a Leash" with that, that breakdown there. It's like, I'm not even gonna try to do it right now.
Yeah, but, try it. I kind of want to hear you try.
I did do it today in the car. So, but yeah, so I don't know. I'm torn, man. I don't know. All
right. Freak on a Leash for me.
Okay.
Oh, all right. You took the pressure off. I don't know, man. I think I was gonna go with Bring Me to Life actually, but
really,
I figured you would. Do you remember when I got you that poster? Great. Do you remember that I got you that poster?
The Evanescence poster?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
I literally, so for RJ's birthday, I got him a poster, and I said, "Here." And before I opened it, I said, "It's a poster of Evanescence." He's like, "Can't wait till I open it."
That was just this year, right?
Bring Me to Life came off of their debut studio album Fallen. Man, Bring Me to Life, My Immortal, Going Under, Everybody's Fool, all four huge singles for them. I love the entire album. And then even before that, this is their debut album, but they actually have 2 or 3 albums prior to this that were more piano driven and a lot less rock. And so if you have time to go look them up, I don't know where you could find it, probably YouTube. But all the old Evanescence albums, Origin and Evanescence, are great stuff. But
yeah, and we talked about Paul McCoy being on the track. I actually recently just saw an interview with Amy Lee where that almost didn't happen, and they almost didn't get signed to a major label because the label was trying to get a rapper into the band full time to fit better with the nu metal scene at the time. Again, this being towards the end of the nu metal 2003 kind of era. And the band actually walked out of the office and they were like, we're not doing it. Like, that's not our band. Eventually I guess the label came back to them and said, okay, here's our counter offer. We can get you onto a movie soundtrack. And I don't remember what movie it was at the time.
Daredevil?
Was it Daredevil? It might have been. So they recorded, this one song with Paul McCoy, with the rap part, and that became the single. And then that was the only song that they agreed to let him sing on or have any rapper on to begin with. But it ended up being their breakthrough hit. So, but they still say they don't really regret their decision. So,
Paul McCoy coming. Sorry, Andy.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think it was through Bring Me to Life that I ended up finding 12 Stones. 12 Stones is a hard rock screamo band. I don't want to say screamo, but the guy screams. Deep voice. It sounds great. And that's a Christian band. Amy Lee is actually a Christian too. Evanescence was never considered a Christian band, but some of their old stuff prior to this was a bit more Christian in the lyrics. But 12 Stones, if you have not heard them, they're still around today, and they've got some good stuff. That first album is really, really good. But I think Bring Me to Life was also used for WWE's No Way Out event as well back in 2003.
This song was everywhere.
Still
yeah,
is.
I've probably heard this album a million times. It's one of those things where if it's on in the car, my wife's car, I take it out. I've heard it so many times. Like, I like the singles, but I can't. It's just sorry, I gotta change it.
Well, it's funny, you mentioned it before, like Bring Me to Life, there's nothing else that sounds like that on any of their albums. Like the rest of the albums are very goth rock, very opera sounding, singing. Like it's not there's nothing like Bring Me to Life after this.
Not my vibe. Sounds like
I would assume there's people that are like super disappointed after hearing the rest of the album, and then other people who are like, I'm glad it doesn't sound like Bring Me to Life. Well, hey, here we are. Moving on. We've got Papa Roach, Last Resort.
What the hell?
Versus Linkin Park's In the End.
No.
Papa Roach, Last Resort came out in 2000 off of Ready to Rumble. And also off of their album Infest. And then In the End, obviously, coming out of Hybrid Theory, which is probably one of the most renowned albums of all time, released in 2001. They are, I don't know, man, they're the new metal darlings, right? I mean, it's like, when you think new metal, you think Linkin Park, but this is going to be hard for you, sounds like, Andy.
Yeah, these are probably my two favorite songs. Maybe, I don't know, on this list. I was kind of hoping to have these face each other somewhere else down the line. So,
for me, there's a piece of me that doesn't want Linkin Park to just win this because I feel like they're going to. But I do love In the End. It's so good. It's so classic. Mike Shinoda had a way of rapping that was much different than the rappers that we hear today. It was a very smart dialogue, very intricate words. In the End was very formulaic, but it worked, man. They came out with Somewhere I Belong a year or two later, and it was the same song as In the End, where they did like the rapping with the singing in the background for every couple words. If you haven't compared those two, In the End and Somewhere I Belong, listen to them back to back, and you're like, they just changed the words. It's the same song.
It's almost like popular music is formulaic.
That's true. I am going to go with the formulaic In the End, though. It's a great song, and it's one of the ones I can sing at karaoke for Linkin Park.
You're literally cutting my life into pieces.
I'm going to go with the song on the record that I actually bought. And I only bought one of these, and it was Papa Roach, Last Resort.
Oh, shut up, man.
Putting it in Andy's hands here. I mean, just remember, this was Chester Bennington. This was.
I know who it is.
Mike Shinoda. No, I'm trying to steer Andy back over to the good side here. This reached number one everywhere. It's the first new metal song to surpass 1 billion streams on Spotify. Not to mention every remix and demo of this song is better and great in its own way.
Which song
Remember
produced the better memes, though? These are both very meme-worthy songs.
Yeah.
They're both very depressing songs, too, that I think about
are.
it. In the end, it doesn't even matter.
Mm-hmm.
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. That's very depressing bracket.
All right. I've made a decision. My pick is going to be
the right one.
In your eyes, yes, it is. It's going to be the right one. I'm going with in the end.
I'm not surprised. Right. I'm not surprised.
I kind of like, wow, man. I didn't want to vote.
It's a hard one. It is a very popular song. It was in the film Ready to Rumble in 2000. It topped the charts for 7 weeks, became a top 10 hit in Austria, Germany, Portugal, the United Kingdom. I mean, it was all over the place. And this is a popular hard rock song about suicide.
Yeah.
And it became like an anthem. It was just everywhere.
Yep.
You had kids my age, like 12 years old, screaming, "Cut my life into pieces."
And the lead singer, he was going by a stage name up until 2002. Did you know that?
Do you know what was his stage name?
Kobe Dick.
Well, his name is Jacoby Shaddix.
Yeah. So
why wouldn't you just go by that? Like, that's a way cooler name.
I don't know. I don't
know. I think it is. I mean, he's kind of cringy now, but he's all right, I guess.
Are they still doing their thing? I think they are. Yeah, they just came out with Ego Trip in 2021.
They're on tour with one of my favorite bands right now.
Who's that?
Don Broco.
Oh yeah, you showed me them in one of our music
sharing meetings. Yes.
Mike and I one night after Andy was an old man and fell asleep, we got together and we literally back and forth all night. Was like, hey, hear this song, and then we play that song. That was a good song, but hear this song.
Oh, that reminds me of this song. Oh, you like that song? You should listen to this song.
Anything left to say about Papa Roach's Last Resort? I feel like I'm saying that. Last Resort.
The only other thing that I thought was kind of interesting was Tobin Esperance, I guess is how you would say that, wrote the song with Jacoby. And they said they were listening to a lot of hip hop at the time. So they were saying that this song and maybe even this record is influenced by acts like the Wu-Tang Clan, the Fugees, and other East Coast hip hop acts, which I don't hear it, but that's what they said.
You know, what's funny in getting ready for this podcast here, I actually forgot that they wrote 2 other songs that I really like too. She Loves Me Not and Scars. But She Loves Me Not, man, coming off of Love, Hate, Tragedy, is such a good song. But I don't think Scars was probably their biggest hit. It was number 15 compared to number 57 for Last Resort.
They got a little bit more like electronic arena rocky around that time, right? When Scars came out. Was that like
Scars was definitely
2000s?
more radio friendly for sure. I don't know. Scars was
I don't remember. It's not pertinent to this discussion.
Yeah. Well, everything's pertinent to this discussion.
That's true, I guess.
But hey, here we are.
Whatever we want.
Disturbed, Down with the Sickness versus POD's Alive. POD making their second appearance in the chart. There are a couple of other bands that do the same. You might be upset about that, but POD's here with Alive. Great song. Down with the Sickness. Very different songs, by the way. Alive is a very positive song. Down with the Sickness literally has a part in which he screams at his mother and hopes that she dies. My favorite thing ever currently is to watch people now, younger people, listen to Down with the Sickness for the first time and then get to that part because they're liking the song. They're like, oh, this is good. And then he's like, oh, no, mommy. And they're like, what the frick is going on? Like, they are legit scared. Like, it's.
I'll be honest with you. I hadn't listened to this song in a really long time. I thought this part was that part is super cringy. Like,
it's weird. It's a very.
It wasn't about his actual mom. He said
no,
he felt bad about his mom having to hear that. I saw a funny video the other day, and it was playing Down with the Sickness, and it was coming home after your wife had the kids all day. So he comes in, he's like stepping through all like this whole mess, and the whole beginning's like, oh shit, right? And he just goes in, and he goes into the bedroom, and the wife's got like the kids like climbing over her, and she goes, ooh, that's hilarious. The suspense up until the end, like I was literally like, this is one of the best videos I've ever seen. It was like a 30-second little clip.
Man, down with the sickness with that. You just mentioned the that is probably the most well-known noise in a song. Like I just feel like it is everywhere. And then he does like the growls afterward too. The whole time. I don't know. I have a negative opinion of Disturbed. Personally, I went to go see them in 2004. Disturbed, Taproot, Unloco, and Chevelle. And me and my friend Dean went, among many other people. And man, Disturbed, they were so good live, but all he did was talk about hating religion and God, like the entire concert. He talked more than he played. I don't know, man. The down with the sickness part with the mom part, I know that's cut off in the radio section. It's just weird, man. I'm going to go with Alive. POD was kind of like my anthem of youth group days. So it brings me positivity. So I'm going to go with Alive, POD.
Andy?
I'm going to go with Alive as well.
Okay. Ooh, yeah, I would have done the same.
All right. Oh, wow. Okay. It's a 3-way for POD. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, let's talk a little bit about David Draymond, Down with the Sickness, Disturbed. How y'all feeling?
I mean, we've talked about the remake by Richard Cheese from Dawn of the Dead.
Oh yeah, movie. That's such a great song. Yeah. That's a better version than the original.
No, well, it's unique in its own way, but I think this song is definitely get you amped up a little bit.
I feel so alive.
Not Alice, Alice.
Alice.
I would say there's actually a lot better songs by Disturbed. I mean, because I do like that album, Stupefy.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we forgot about Stupefy. That was their...
Tell you the truth, I probably would have put Stupefy on here before I put Down with the Sickness. Yeah,
that was their first single off the record.
Oh, okay. Yes, you're right. It was. Voices, another one off of there that was really good. The Game. I used to sing that at karaoke all the time. The Game. And then they had an album after that, Believe, that I got super into. Prayer, Remember, Liberate. And then after that, I lost them. They had like, 5-6 albums after that. They just came out with an album in 2019. And then they did that cover of The Sound of Silence and If I Ever Lose My Faith in You with his super deep voice.
Sound of Silence was very good.
Yeah.
I mean, this song made its way back into popularity in March 2020.
What happened in March 2020?
We were all stuck at home. Down with the sickness.
We're all getting down with the sickness.
The sickness, yeah.
But that's not what the song is about.
No, that's not.
Get up, come on, get down with the COVID.
Nobody wanted to come down with the COVID.
No. But
nobody wants down with the sickness either.
Yeah, I guess. Well, but the song was about just treating everyone equally, sort of, putting your differences aside and, getting down with the sickness was sort of recognizing that everyone's different and just trying to, put out a positive message, believe it or not. And then the middle part with him yelling at his mother was really the mother was, society sort of, treating people differently than others or treating, some folks, giving them.
Deep, man, that's deep.
Yeah, it's real deep, dude. So I don't know why they went that route with it, but I guess that's just, what came to his head. But yeah, even they thought it wasn't going to be a huge song. They weren't going to release it as a single. David Draymond even said none of us, and I repeat, none of us. I don't care what anybody tells you. If they tell you otherwise, they're bold-faced liars. None of us intended for this to be a single. We never in a million years thought it would get through because the subject matter was so dark and abrasive and had strong language in it. There was no way. So even they didn't think it was going to be that big, but here we are talking about it.
Oh, next up on the we're talking about it.
Yeah, we're about
Next
to take
up on the
it down.
bracket, we've got System of a Down's Chop Suey, which comes off of their Toxicity album in 2001, versus Drowning Pool's Bodies, which came off of their album in 2001 as well, Sinner, which was also the theme song for WWF SummerSlam and ECW brand, the WWE version, for 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, wrestling loves their new metal.
They did.
That's for sure.
I already have a choice. It's no competition. Chop Suey, System of a Down, one of the best bands of all time. Chop Suey. I listened to both today. Bodies has a great "Let the Bodies Hit the Floor" section, but then everything else about that song is the most annoying piece of crap ever.
No way. Man, that bridge, the bridge
times.
is so good.
Nothing's wrong with me.
Yeah, that part's kind of dumb.
It sounds like the friggin'. I feel like I'm watching Sesame Street for new metal.
Yeah, but that bridge part, the down,
nothing is wrong with me. 2, Chop Suey has the best part of Chop Suey is the whispering in the background. Wake up, wake up! Like that's the best part.
Grab a brush and
I made my point.
Makeup. Yeah, it's Chop Suey.
1,
Yeah.
One body, 2 bodies. Yeah, Chop Suey.
Yeah, Chop Suey for me too.
Can't deny the greatness
let's
of Chop
talk a little bit about Drowning Pool, Bodies. As we mentioned earlier, it's been in a ton of advertisements, a ton of various films, TV programs, WWF, ECW.
Mike, didn't you play a show with them?
I did not play a show with Drowning Pool.
No. Oh, okay. I thought you did.
No.
Wow.
No, that would have been cool.
A lot more important than he was, yeah.
No. We were supposed to play a festival where they were playing, and then we backed out.
He played with a group called Near Drowning Sea.
Nope. Didn't even get that cool.
Attempted drowning lake.
Yes. Sitting in a bathtub.
Opposites. Staying afloat.
Yes.
Sitting puddle. It was Sitting Puddle.
Hey, another song that, despite the lyrics, is actually another positive message about, just having fun in a mosh pit. And when people get knocked down in a mosh pit, you pick them up and keep going.
Punch him in the face and knock
But he says, let the bodies hit the floor. So, I mean, at first you're like, yeah, pick them up, but watch them hit their head first. Like, let them hit the floor, and then you pick them up.
Well, no, it's just the body. You're supposed to catch
other.
them and cradle the head. Just the body hits the floor, not the head. Yeah.
Oh, the mosh pit.
So I don't know. It's just me. I might be old, but I've never liked mosh pits because I don't like having to try to watch the band and fear for my life at the same time. Like, it's just never been my thing. Like, I whenever something starts, I just back up. I can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, I never went to like rock concerts or anything like that, but just getting kind of elbowed and punched in the face is kind of not my jam. At least for fun. Even though we kind of did that for fun in backyard wrestling, but not to that extent. But no, I got kicked in the back of the head by someone crowd surfing, and that was not fun.
Yeah,
I was not expecting it. Yeah. And then they dropped the girl. We all caught her before she whacked her head on the cement, but that was kind of scary. What were we talking about?
So a little bit of connection here. So Drowning Pool was on Wind Up Records, which had Evanescence on there, which had 12 Stones on there. Alter Bridge was on there. Boy Hits
label.
Car. Were they? I don't know if they. Were they? I don't know, but they had a ton of great people on there. You had Hawthorne Heights was on there for a little while. Who else was Filter? Five for Fighting. A lot of decent people were on that. Bayside was on there for a little while.
Yeah, I love Bayside.
But anyways, hey, Drowning Pool off. Chop Suey has made it on. Next up, we've got a sad one for me because I do like both of these songs. We've got Linkin Park, One Step Closer versus Crossfade's Cold. For people who don't remember Crossfade's Cold, that actually came out in 2004 off their album Crossfade. Isn't that the Looking back at me, I see.
Yeah. Never really got it right.
And then One Step Closer, also from Hybrid Theory as well. That's the Shut Up When I'm Talking to You.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
That's how they say it.
So, Cold was kind of a one-hit wonder, right? That was on our one-hit wonders list.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I think, did we put them on there and they maybe had 2 songs?
Or maybe.
I can't remember.
I don't remember.
I mean, I don't know if I've ever heard anything else from them, but
well, they're still putting music out. But this was their first.
Oh no, they came out with "So Far Away."
That's right.
After that, I think I know that one. Supposedly, they have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 singles, but only one ever made it to the charts, which was "Cold." So technically, I think they are a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, I don't know.
I had this album.
Yeah,
and I don't remember anything else about it besides Cold. I think it was just it felt like just a typical kind of rock album to me, if I remember. I haven't heard it in a very long time, but this was definitely the strength of the album for sure.
It was their first single from their first record. That's pretty big.
I mean, I would, if we could just get one hit single, I'd be fine. I'd be set for life.
Yeah.
With that being said, I don't know. You're right. One Step Closer is not my favorite Linkin Park song. Obviously, the Shut Up When I'm Talking to You is super fun. They actually had a demo version of One Step Closer, which included a really cool rap right before the. No, that was Crawling. Sorry, wrong thing. Man. Anyone? Does anyone have an actual pick on this one?
I'm gonna go with Crossfade.
Okay. Right. Did you vote against Linkin Park each time?
I did.
Are you a Linkin Park hater?
Not my favorite band. I respect them.
Gosh.
Not my favorite band. What's up, Deanna?
RJ, what's your?
I don't know, man. I'm gonna go with Cold. All
right.
Oh, the upset.
You know what? I will agree. Just in the faith of, in the end.
Yeah, in the end's an infinitely better song than One Step Closer. But there's so many good Linkin Park songs that I didn't put on here just because of radio friendly stuff.
We could have really put anything in the number 2 spot for Linkin Park.
Yeah.
And it could have easily gone on there.
They have so many. I mean, just looking at first off, I love Linkin Park. I've listened to Linkin Park since they came out. They're what turned me from listening to more pop and Motown to more rock stuff. Was really Linkin Park, Rage Against the Machine, and a couple of other bands at that time. But they have had so many singles. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I don't know how many demos and remixes and all of that they've come out with. I mean, you had Hybrid Theory, then you had Meteora, Minutes to Midnight, 1,000 Suns. I kind of lost them after 1,000 Suns. They came out with Living Things and The Hunting Party and One More Light over the last 2010s. And I didn't really get into those. But they had some live albums. Not to mention, can we talk about Jay-Z in Linkin Park?
It was
that was probably
Collision Course.
Yeah, that was great.
I mean,
was Reanimation?
That album changed the whole thing. Reanimation was great too. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's songs that like never got released, like My December. That ended up getting released later on. That's probably my favorite Linkin Park song ever.
That is a great song. I mean, listen to how many singles. I mean, Hybrid Theory came out with One Step Closer, Crawling, Paper Cut, In the End. And then Reanimation had Points of Authority. You had Somewhere I Belong, Faint, Numb, From the Inside, Breaking the Habit. It's just so many.
Oh, that Numb encore with Jay-Z.
Oh, yeah.
Remix.
Oh, that was good.
So good.
Yep.
But anyways, this song. So Chester was getting a little pissed off because he had to rewrite the song like 30 times because the producer kept telling him to go back. So some of these lyrics were kind of directed towards the producer. I cannot take this anymore. I'm saying everything I said before. So hey, I guess you got perfection out of it in the long run, right?
Yeah, and I guess
That would
the
drive me crazy.
demo was recorded at Mike Shinoda's house one night. I guess he lived in like an apartment or a condo, and the neighbor was banging on the wall, and couldn't hear any actual music, just Chester screaming into the microphone. Good
Oh
time,
man, I mean, it's funny. They came out with a ton of documentaries too about making Meteora, about making the original Hybrid Theory. Mike Shinoda, Andy and I saw him with Fort Minor back at Lupo's as well.
I saw him on
Mike
his
Shinoda's
solo
a cool
tour after the last Warp Tour a few years ago as well, as a solo act.
Nice.
Very good.
Yeah, I wonder what they're going to do after the hiatus. They did mention continuing. They just started playing live shows again in October. They are saying right now they're playing live shows, but they're really not. There's no return currently, but they are looking to possibly do something in the future. So they haven't ever said they're done, but at the same time, man, I couldn't imagine someone really taking the place of Chester.
I mean, we should get like a Linkin Park Journey mega group. That's what
I mean, so Linkin Park right after Chester's death did have a number of people come in and kind of sing some songs in their own way. Can't remember who did it, but I want to say maybe Sum 41 did a song live with them before. And so while, like Deanna said, no one's going to replace Chester, but I think it would be really cool to see them come out live and have guest artists, do some songs with them. Like Mike Shinoda does a bunch of songs where he sings and raps. He could easily do a bunch of stuff by himself. But
if you want to hear a really good cover of Faint, there's a Japanese band called Crossfaith, and they did a cover of Faint with Crossfaith. Crossfaith.
Okay.
And the singer from another Japanese band called Cold Rain.
Coldplay too.
Cold Rain sounds a lot like Chester. Actually, they could put him in Chester's spot there if they needed to in a pinch, I guess. For a tour.
His name like Chris Martin's.
No, it's Bester Chennington.
Well, hey, we're on our last bracket here. We have Click Click Boom by Saliva versus Limp Bizkit's Rollin'. So
I feel like
again here
these songs are very similar in that they just repeat the words. Rollin', rollin', rollin'.
That's true. That's true.
Click,
so I was leaning more towards Click Click Boom. If it was coming up in the first round, but then when I found out how the song was written, I'm kind of leaning away from that one. I think I have to go with Limp Bizkit on this one.
Oh, I don't know about that. So I don't know if I want you to spoil it.
Click Click Bloom. Bloom.
Bloom. Click, click, bloom. Oh wow.
Click click bloom.
Click Click Boom was also a WWF No Mercy theme for a little while there. It was also in Fast and the Furious, The New Guy, How High, Cradle to the Grave, Talladega Nights.
Just took all my notes.
So sorry.
Every single one.
But in saying that, I'm picking Rollin' by Limp Bizkit.
All right. I'm fine with that. I would have went with Click Click Boom. How was this written that swayed you so much that you didn't want to choose it?
So the band didn't write this song. Oh. The producer
who didn't write this song? What are we talking about?
Saliva didn't write this song. The producer that was producing the album wrote this song. And the singer Josie just wrote the lyrics. No one in this band wrote the song.
So what? That's the only people do that.
I know, but I'm pretty
not
sure
new
every
metal
other
bands.
I'm pretty sure every other band on this list wrote their own music. I don't know. I have an aversion.
Maybe he was like, maybe he had a pen and he was like,
and then he dropped his pen.
And the producer was like, boom.
Click, click,
like,
right.
ah! They just went through all different noises. Click, click, pow.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound good.
No.
Click, click, bam. Maybe they're watching like old school Batman cartoons. Like, click, click, plow.
You think maybe he was like leaning back in his chair and like fell over and it made a boom sound?
They were like,
that's it. I don't know. It's an okay song. It's pretty catchy. I get tired of it. It's another one of those songs where I got tired of hearing click, click, boom over and over again.
So I don't know much about it. I was just looking at their discography, but it looks like they came out with an album in 21 called Every 20 Years, and it has all the songs off of Every 6 Seconds, which is Click, Click, Boom. I wonder if that is like a new version of it or an acoustic version or something like that, but I kind of am interested to hear.
But
anyways, hey, Roland.
He did that song with Chad Kroeger for the Spider-Man soundtrack.
Oh, that's him. What was that song?
Save us.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was actually a pretty good song.
It was all right.
all right.
That is all right.
I mean, it's no, what is it, Evanescence and Chad Kroeger? What was that song that they did?
That sounds like a train wreck. Anything with Chad Kroeger sounds terrible.
Song. Excuse me. Nickelback gets a lot of hate. They are still, they got some good songs.
They're laughing all the way to the bank, but I still don't like them. So
all the way to the Canadian bank.
Yes.
Royal Bank of Canada.
All the way to the bank.
Look at this can of Coke. All right, here we are. It's Crawling in the Dark by Hoobastank versus Limp Bizkit's Break Stuff.
Oh, boy.
It's a Pepsi, so it didn't rhyme. I'm going to go with Crawling in the Dark. First off, Hoobastank, that album is hot fire. You have Running Away on there. Mm-hmm. You have Crawling in the Dark. And then there was the, what's the other song? Remember Me and Pieces. Such a good start of an album. The first 4 songs are just super good. And like I said, it's honestly my first concert ever. I went in there for Hoobastank. I left loving Green Wheel. If you got to check out Green Wheel, by the way. But yeah, Crawling in the Dark for me.
Limp Bizkit.
Oh, it's on Andy to choose Crawling in the Dark, which is every car commercial for 10 years. Just Crawling in the Dark.
Can I just say the drums sound absolutely terrible on that song, by the way. They sound not his playing. His playing is great. Great drummer. It sounds like he's hitting like plastic garbage cans with pillows in them. It sounds awful. It sounds absolutely terrible.
Did I just make the trailer, Andy, with the
Oh, for sure.
All right.
Break Stuff is not one of my favorite Limp Bizkit songs. Oh. I think the songs that we put on here are not my favorite Limp Bizkit song. So I'm sorry to say that
you're still picking
Hoobastank.
Dude, Break Stuff is like a quintessential nu metal song.
It is.
I mean, it is. I mean,
it is, and everyone voted against it.
They're not the Stank. They don't have Stank.
Man, now here's the cool part. If anybody remembers that music video where just random people appear in it is so good. I actually just watched a reaction video to that from someone who had no idea, and all of a sudden they're like, "Was that Snoop Dogg? Was that Dr. Dre?
That Pauly Shore?"
Yeah, there were some weird people in there. Seth Green was in there,
and then a bunch of random people dressed like Fred Durst.
Jonathan Davis was in there.
They were on the Family Values tour the year before.
I like a lot of Limp Bizkit songs. I haven't listened to them in a very long time, but Significant Other, Chocolate Starfish, and the Hot Dog Flavored Water are both great albums for me. $3 Bill Y'all is a great album, but I didn't really listen to it too much.
So good.
But Significant Other, it was my wrestling theme song, Nobody Like You, which is a great song on there. And Together Now, I think, was on that album as well.
Yeah, Redman and Method Man. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Was it? I thought Redman was on that too.
I'm gonna look it up right now. It looks like it was Method Man and DJ Premier.
Oh,
DJ Premier, yeah.
So good.
Oh, and then their cover of Faith too.
Yeah,
that was good. Good stuff.
Nookie.
Yep.
Nookie. Why didn't we have Nookie on there?
So they also had DJ Lethal in their
Yep.
group
From House of Pain.
Would always get his scratches in there, so that's cool. Yeah, I mean, they just came out with a new song, right?
Yeah,
Dad's
Dad Life
Dad
or
stuff?
something.
Yeah,
Dad stuff.
That's
It's like knee-high socks with holes in them and sweatpants. That's Dad stuff.
The video is pretty funny. I watched it the other day.
Yeah.
I mean, Limp Bizkit, listen, they get a lot of hate.
Ton.
From tons, right? Because I look at some of the lyrics, right? It's pretty. Some of them can be pretty cheesy, but they were fun. Definitely new metal.
Yeah.
They were. It was like them and Linkin Park, right? Which are two very different groups, but
yeah.
They went out there and just did their thing, and they didn't care. Like,
yeah,
they were one of those popular bands at that time. They were all over MTV, TRL. Like, you turn the TV on, you saw Fred Durst, like, ham it up, right, with his baseball cap, the red baseball cap. And they were fun. Like, they had a lot of cool singles, but there's definitely a lot of like secret Limp Bizkit fans. Like, they didn't want to go out. It was like almost being a wrestling fan. Like, you didn't want to tell people you're.
I let everyone know I listen to Limp Bizkit.
Yeah,
I love Limp Bizkit.
I think now people are like saying stuff on that. Like, yeah, I'm a Limp Bizkit fan. Like, so what? Like, they are what they are. Like, they're cool.
I mean, a few years ago when they came out with like Gold Cobra and what was the record after that? Or before that, it was just a green cover with like Fred's face on it.
Unquestionable Truth.
Yeah, those were garbage albums.
Or Results May Vary.
Results May Vary was absolute hot trash. But I mean, those first three albums, and then even part of the fourth one was all right. But
was that where they did the cover of that Behind Blue Eyes song, which was terrible?
Yeah, I saw them play that live, and they also played a Metallica song. And then Metallica came out and played the same song. I don't know what Limp Bizkit was doing.
Well, hey, here we are. We've got this is a tough one. Korn, Freak on a Leash versus Linkin Park's In the End.
I'm going with Korn on this one.
That's because you've always gone against Linkin Park.
No, well, Korn like created new metal. Let's be honest here. I can't believe that Blind is not on this list.
It's because I don't know Blind.
You know Blind. You know that song.
I don't know Blind. You always say I know something, and
you
then
know
I
that
really
song.
Don't know it.
Everyone, my father-in-law knows that song. That's the one where it just starts out with the ride cymbal going, and then the guitar goes da 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 da. And then he goes, "Are you ready?" Yeah, you know that song. I know you know that song. You know that song.
So far, I don't.
You do the whole song.
We'll listen to the I'm going with In the End. Now that you've said that, thank you. So now it's up to Andy again.
Go ahead, Andy. Break my heart.
Korn or Linkin Park? You're about to throw out Linkin Park altogether. There is no other Linkin Park song.
There's no other.
The new metal darlings. You're about to kick out. Be careful.
We've had Freak on a Leash on a few different topics, right?
Mm-hmm. They're on the music video.
Yeah. What else did we have them on? We had some. Maybe
they might have been on
too much.
Top 2000s
rock songs, something like that. Yeah. So they've had their time to shine on our list. So In the End for me.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna talk about In the End, but
sorry, I was feeling like a freak on a leash.
Freak on a Leash, man. Korn, great band. I obviously do love a lot of their stuff. I think you mentioned it before. They did the Family Values tour a bunch of times in the beginning. Were they the creators of that? I think.
Yes.
The
Yep.
Family Values
And
tour?
they would bring bands like Mudvayne, Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit. I think even towards the end, I think even Method Man, Redman were on one of those tours at one point.
Actually, the first one had Ice Cube, and then Incubus, Orgy, Rammstein, and then in 99, excuse me, they had Filter and Stained, the Crystal Method, Mobb Deep, Run DMC, Method Man, Redman, Seven Dust.
Seven Dust is great.
You know what's funny is Korn didn't take part in the whole tour. They just had surprise appearances.
Just making money.
Korn, that's how they built their fan base, was through touring.
Yeah.
Says what I found, their debut album initially sold over 700,000 copies just from their tours.
Nice.
They were on tour with like Ozzy and Megadeth, so that's pretty cool. Now, like, how do you spell records
Family
now
Values tour?
How do you go on tour? Like, if you're on tour now, like, what do you hand people your phone with like Spotify hooked up to it?
Just a QR code. Like, yo, scan this QR code. Listen to my.
Like,
I haven't been to too many concerts, but I do see they do have a table with merch. You know, they have all the T-shirts and stuff, but they do have some CDs there. When I went to go see Spoken last year, they did have a couple of CDs there, if I can remember right. But I think for the majority of it, it was just like, check this out on Spotify.
I was wondering with that, because you were saying that how you're going to do some songs at your church, and I was like, oh, you should pass out CDs for the older folks. And then I was like, what about for the kids? Like, do we make like a pamphlet, with like a QR code? Like, there's our socials right there.
Pretty much. I mean, pretty much, yeah.
Although if there's a guy,
where are we?
There's a creepy guy in the back, and he's like, "Yo, you want CDs? Don't go talk to him. Don't go talk to him."
Oh man! Next up, we got POD's Alive versus System of a Down's Chop Suey.
Shoot.
If anyone doesn't get that joke, call me after.
Yeah, Google CDs.
I'm gonna go with Chop Suey on this one. I do love POD. It makes me sad to kick them out, but Chop Suey, System of a Down. That Toxicity album is one of the best albums of all time.
Very polar opposite songs. You have Alive, and then you have Chop Suey, which is about suicide. So one feels alive, one feels like they don't want to be alive.
I mean, I just think about the fact that I can listen to Toxicity straight through. Every song on that album is great. You have Prison Song,
Aerials.
Needles, Deer Dance, Chop Suey, Aerials, Bounce. Bounce is actually made a comeback for me on a kids movie we just saw recently. What is that movie?
That was the Life of Pets.
Secret Life of Pets.
Yeah.
Yes. My kids love that song now because of Secret Life of Pets. So, but anyways, Chop Suey for me.
I think we had Chop Suey on another one, and you guys were like voting it through, and I was getting really pissed off. But I also listened to that album a lot during this time frame. My stepfather loved that album, and it was good. Some of the names that you were just coming up with for the songs on the album, I was like, oh man, I remember those songs. It was really good. And I really love Alive, but I'm gonna surprise myself here and go with Chop Suey.
Yeah, Chop Suey all the way.
All right, there you go.
Yep.
Well, there it is. Let's talk a little bit about POD. I never got to see POD live. I wanted to.
They're still touring.
It was Alive was kind of like the hit that came out right after or right before 9/11, and so that became like a.
It was released on 9/11.
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yep.
I saw July 31st, but
the first single released on September 11th, 2001.
Nice.
Yep.
That's
and ironically enough, the song is about not taking anything for granted and living each day as it is your last. But again,
that ended up becoming the most requested video on TRL in September 01.
I don't remember the video that much.
It said, they had a video, but I guess they also in September of 01 performed a live set at Battery Park during TRL. So that's pretty cool.
Yep. Yeah, and we spoke about them being Christian and being sort of open about their faith, but Sonny always left the lyrics open to interpretation. So, his lyrics, if you are, if you are a Christian or you have, some sort of Christian faith or, you can obviously point to and listen and understand what he's singing about, but someone who isn't religious can still listen to that music and still interpret it in their own way. And it's always a positive message in one way or another. And I think Sonny's really proud of that, kids would come up to him at shows and tell him what the song meant, to them. And he would be blown away by other people's interpretation of his lyrics and their music. So I thought that was always kind of a really cool thing about the band was, depending on, what walk of life you're from, you're always going to get something out of their music. And it's really catchy as well. I mean, they're great musicians. They're still playing, they're still recording, they're still touring. So it's pretty impressive. They've been around for, we're talking almost 30 years now. So,
oh God, shut up.
Yeah.
POD, this is kind of a cringe moment for me, but at the same time, has a nice memory. POD's same album, they had a song called Thinking About Forever. And I actually sung that at my aunt's funeral. So I sung a POD song at my aunt's funeral with my friend Billy at the time, who was on our podcast way back in the day. So I'm glad there was no video footage of that at the time. I think that was probably 03 or something.
Actually,
so there was no video
about it.
Premiering after the episode. No, but to tell you how cringe it was, I legit sung that song to the CD at the funeral. So it was just me singing over the POD song with lyrics and everything. Like it wasn't even a track. It was just like the song. I think I had done. Remember they had that software. Remember they had that software where you could put a song into it and it would try to remove the lead vocal, and it would just make it sound very
just like
I don't know,
in the background, like you were missing a whole channel.
Yeah, I think I did that, and so I'm glad no one probably remembers that, but it was not
do
good.
Now.
Yeah, you just resurfaced that memory.
POD is also known for a little bit of controversy in the Christian world when they use the F-bomb in one of their later songs, which actually is a great song, and I love when Christians swear. You have Murdered Love, which was they dropped the F-bomb. And then there's a band called King's Kaleidoscope. That's another Christian band that dropped the F-bomb in one of their later songs. And it's
they say fudge.
Super powerful.
Fun fact, Katy Perry used to be a backup singer for POD.
No kidding.
Dang, I don't know.
Even in one of their music videos. Yep.
Wow. Okay. That's
Look
cool.
it up.
Well, hey, we're here. This is the last bracket here, and then we will be in the top 4.
Gosh.
It is Crossfade's Cold, which is the sleeper hit here, versus Limp Bizkit's Rollin'.
These are both actually.
Now remember, guys, we are voting based on what we appreciate, what we like. It could be what we think is more new metal. It could be just the song we love to hear. And that's why I'm going to choose Crossfade's Cold. Rollin' is probably a more new metal song and probably more popular. But I would listen to Crossfade's Cold any day over Rollin'.
Me too.
Wow.
Oh, we're doing it. We're doing it. Right. Crossfade just kicked Limp Bizkit out.
Rolling that song right out of the top 8, baby.
You guys don't know what you've just done.
I do feel like Fred Durst is going to appear on the podcast next week.
Awesome. I would love if Fred Durst came on. That'd be awesome.
I would want him to say, "It's chocolate starfish in the hot dog flavored water." My wife's upstairs like that.
Oh man, I reference this song all the time though. At work, that's the other song. But at work, I'm always, people are like, "Oh man, I'm so tired. Work's so busy today." I'll be like, "Keep on rolling, baby. You know what time it is." And nobody has any idea because all the kids that work for me are all like in their early 20s and they don't even know who Limp
It's
Bizkit
a
is.
chocolate starfish in the hot dog flavored water. Oh man.
But anyways, great song.
Roland was the entrance theme for The Undertaker for 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And again, it was in WrestleMania 19 as well, where he performed it live.
I try not to remember that phase
Excuse
of The
me,
Undertaker.
The Undertaker, when he was this the American Badass, I think.
Yeah.
was when he did that.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that part.
No.
I'm glad he went back, but I enjoyed it. It was good. Remember? Do you guys remember the Undertaker's return when he had the creepy children on the screen and it had like a Kid Rock song and that dude rolled down on the motorcycle? Yeah. That's one of the best returns of all time, and he came back as the
that was all right. Yeah.
Come on. Anyways, anything left to say about Limp Bizkit?
Yeah, originally this was going to be a hip hop song. So it was originally recorded.
Kind of is, right?
It was recorded with DMX, Redman, Method Man, produced by Swizz Beatz. And that is called Rollin' Urban Assault Vehicle. And then Wes Borland. Yeah, Wes Borland, the genius of a guitarist for the band, said after they heard the song that they felt like they needed to turn it into a rock song, but they liked both versions so much that they put them both on the record. So they are both on the same record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, God must have been looking down at Limp Bizkit because they actually filmed this video on top of the South Tower of the World Trade Center just a year prior. And now we have Roland. So
yeah.
now we have the video to Roland.
Absolutely.
I don't remember actually seeing that video. I need to go back now and watch it. Now,
yeah, apparently it was huge on TRL. It was just a larger than life video. It was him driving around in, I don't remember what kind of car it was, some fancy car. And then there was like helicopters flying around.
Is that what it says in your notes?
No, that's not even in my notes. I remember doing research on the song, and I guess I forgot to put that in my notes. But there was like some kind of specific car, but it was like some European car. It wasn't even American. I don't even know.
It was the Volkswagen fancy car.
Yeah, the Volkswagen fancy car. Duh.
Oh man! Well, hey, here we are. Yeah. We're in the top 4.
Let's keep on rolling.
We've got Hoobastanks crawling in the dark.
How did Hoobastank
versus Linkin Park's In the End, System of a Down's Chop Suey, and Crossfade's Cold. But before we get into that, you all know what time it is. We are here with the dad jokes.
The only joke here is that Hoobastank is in the final 4.
Excuse me, Hoobastank is great.
It's the one new metal song on the record, and somehow it made it this far. All right.
Where are we at?
So Andy and I are tied. We have 17 points. RJ has 20.
Ooh, I'm 3 points ahead. Okay.
20 points.
Last week then.
All right. Well, hey, Andy, start us off strong here.
Make me laugh. Looks like we have some new viewers as well. Let's make Paul laugh at our jokes.
All right.
If not, it's a failure.
All right. I will go.
Just be aware, new viewers, our podcast is not available on Deezer.
No. So I will start it off with one that I wrote myself, just like last week.
Again,
another one.
Here we go.
Yeah. I figured I'd just get one in there.
I liked your last one. Your last one was pretty good.
It was good.
All right. Well, then you'll hate this one. Hey, did you hear that in 2010, Viagra had record-breaking sales? Did you guys hear that?
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't hear that? Oh, it was because there wasn't any more fans of Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
Took RJ a second there.
No, I still don't like it.
No.
All right. Well,
yeah, well, you're not voting on this one, so.
That's true. That's true.
That's right.
Well, hey, I didn't tell you guys I went to go get the car cleaned. I took the truck down to the Subaru dealership, and while I was there, my dad came with me, and he was like looking at potential choices for a car, and he said, cargo space? And the salesman was like, no, car no do that, cargo road.
I knew that one.
I love that joke. All right, RJ, you begrudgingly get my point. I liked your joke, Andy, but yeah, you should have went with your gut feeling and a different joke.
I didn't like his joke.
Andy said before, we were talking before. He's like, "Hey, I wrote another joke this week, but I think I need to find another joke." And I was like, "Nah, man, just roll with it. Just it's your joke."
You should give me points for giving me a vote of confidence. All right, RJ, let's go.
You know what? I had a joke and my phone just restarted. So hold on.
Hilarious.
It's
the best
great,
thing I've ever heard.
Well, my grandma always used to say, "An apple a day keeps the doctor away." I don't know if that's true or not, or if it's just one of Granny Smith's.
I get Granny's myths. I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I got it.
See, at least when it's a garbage joke, I wrote my own garbage joke.
Listen, mine's not going to be much better.
All right.
My phone's. I had to get a new joke. My phone just.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Did you guys know that Disney's Hall of Presidents replaced one president with a large neon light in the shape of the letter A that just flashes on and off? The president they replaced was A blinking.
I didn't like mine, but it was better than that.
Blinking. A.
Can I vote for my own joke?
A.
I feel like I should give you both negatives.
Granny's myths.
Yeah, no, I don't like that one. I'm gonna go with Mike.
Do we need to redo our? Do we need to redo our thing here?
No, Mike's getting Mike got my vote.
All right, thank you.
What?
Thank you. This one's an audio joke. Ready?
What?
Two soldiers are in a tank. One looks at the other and says,
I'm glad. Like, you must have practiced that sound. All right.
No, nothing. I thought I was going to get more of a reaction than that.
I laughed a little bit and I said it was stupid. Saying it's stupid usually means it's a good thing.
Guys, I hate you.
Guys, did you hear the news that Fred Durst rear-ended someone at a stoplight? Onlooker said it looked like he was going to brake, but he just kept rolling.
Oh man.
At least some effort went into my joke.
Mine did too. I found that.
Did you write that one too
before the show? No.
Okay.
Well,
I love that it was topical. I do love that it was topical.
I'm going with the topic.
Mike's made me say that was stupid, so that gets points.
Hey,
so I'm gonna go with Mike on that one.
Hey. Well, listen, guys. After all is said and done, I hate you both.
You can't hate me. We're family.
That's true.
Well, we're back here in the top four. We've got Hoobastank's Crawling in the Dark versus Linkin Park's In the End.
This is where it gets real, folks.
I'm going to go with In the End, Linkin Park. Crawling in the Dark's a great song. I love it. Love the album. Love Hoobastank. They even came out with that crap album afterward, The Reason.
So bad.
I mean, I liked The Reason at the time. I just can't. But they had Out of Control. Did you ever hear Out of Control?
Out of Control was great, yeah. That was on the first record, though.
No, that was on the second. That was on The Reason.
That was on The Reason? Are you sure?
It was, at least according to Wikipedia currently. It was their first single off of The Reason. It was number 9 on the modern rock charts, and it has that crazy vocal where he's like, like it's.
I do remember
that. But anyways. In the end, like it.
Andy.
Oh man, I forgot my way better joke that I had. I just saw it and I was like, "Damn it, that would have won." Yeah, it's In the End for me.
Yeah, I also would have chosen In the End for this one.
Wow, so
Wow,
you dissed Linkin Park the entire thing, and then Hoobastank comes along.
I
And you're like,
no.
Linkin
Hey,
Park.
hold on. I did not once diss Linkin Park.
Hold on now.
I never once said I just like Linkin Park.
Man, well, hey, let's talk a little bit more about Hoobastank. It sounds like as much as you may or may not have liked Hoobastank, you definitely didn't like them when they came out with The Reason.
I did not. No, I did not. But I did like this first album. I acquired this album in the computer lab at high school because someone left the CD in the computer and I took it home with me. And I was like, what is this? I don't know what this is. Hoobastank?
It says stank on it. So it's
Yeah. I took it home, listened to it. It was cool. It was a good record. But again, this is like their only new...
One kid was like, I lost my Hoobastank.
Where my Hoobastank?
I left it in the computer lab.
Their own, like, I would
this
consider this their only new metal song. But it was the first song on their first record, even though they were called Hoobastank, but it was spelled Hoobustank before this. They used to play local shows around their neighborhood with Incubus.
Nice. Yeah, I like them. Hoobastank. It's funny. There really isn't there's a variety of explanations talking about how it could have been a mispronunciation of a German street. It could be slang for someone who owns many sneakers, or a word the band just came up with while they were joking around. But yeah, In the End has made it into our top. We are down to Chop Suey by System of a Down versus Cold by Crossfade.
Listen. I'm going out on a limb here. I don't know if maybe that's not the right terminology, but cold for me. Cold is going to be my pick.
Really? Over Chop Suey?
Yep. That's what I said.
Wow. All right.
That's because you guys didn't vote for any of my jokes.
I'm going to go with Chop Suey on this one, System of a Down. I do love Cold, but my background to this is System of a Down has rarely come out with a song I didn't like. Cold is literally the only song I know from Crossfade.
True.
So I'm going with Chop Suey. Overall, better song.
Yeah. Chop Suey.
Deanna also agrees with me.
Chop Suey, no doubt. No doubt.
No, it was System of a Down. No,
sorry. This wasn't Gwen Stefani.
They had Just a Girl. That almost made it on the new metal.
Well, this
don't
reached,
lie. Don't lie to the audience.
Cold reached number 2 on the Billboard Modern Rock Tracks.
Mm-hmm.
It spent 46 weeks on the list, so this was a huge hit.
Was.
At that time, it was the longest running hit in the chart's history until The Kill.
30 Seconds to Mars.
Yep.
Amazing song.
Crossfade had other names before settling on Crossfade. I always like to dig back and see what they were called. They had The Nothing, which I think is pretty decent.
Yeah.
But my favorite is Sugar Daddy Superstar.
That's a lie. That's a lie. You made that up. Sugar Daddy Superstar.
I found it on Song Facts. So allegedly.
That sounds legit. Yeah. You know what's funny is that the last album that Crossfade came out with was 2011, and then ever since 2011, all Crossfade has done is say, "Hey, we're coming out with another one soon," and they've done nothing since 2011.
The not the singer guitarist, but the other guitarist is actually a session musician in Nashville and plays for Howie Day.
Oh, okay, I remember Howie Day.
He's the guitarist for Howie Day.
Collide?
Maybe. Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's funny, 2018, the former Puddle of Mud drummer joined Crossfade. And then in 2018, the lead singer just released his own solo stuff. So I'm not sure what they're doing currently. But yeah.
They're all writing material just all in different places.
Can't wait for
I'm not surprised by this, but we have Linkin Park's In the End, System of a Down's Chop Suey. System of a Down probably not known for being new metal throughout their career. but this song definitely fills that in for sure.
I would say their first 3 albums you could consider new metal.
I mean, let's talk about Linkin Park. In the end, Linkin Park again. I'm going to call them it again. They're the new metal darlings. It's just you can't think of new metal without Linkin Park. But
this was obviously a huge hit off Hybrid Theory. Hybrid Theory sold 5 million copies, 14 million worldwide, but it was also one of the most pirated albums as well.
Yep.
So they think it was around 5.3 million downloads of that album. Wow. I would say that probably led to more album sales. In my opinion, I know piracy is not a cool thing to do, but I think in those days you kind of like wanted to hear it before you went and bought it. And I think once they heard probably how solid of an album it was, in my opinion, one of the greatest rock albums of at least in my generation that I've ever heard. Hybrid Theory is up there. So it definitely led me to go buy it. So yeah, and Chester almost didn't he didn't want the song as a single either. But others convinced him, and he basically said he decided he doesn't know what the F he's talking about.
Yep.
When it comes to picking singles.
Yeah.
So
you know what's funny is Linkin Park. I mean, honestly, they've come out with so many versions of so many songs. In the end, has so many demos, so many remixes, and I love all of them. They do it with a ton of other ones. If you go back and listen to some of the demos of, they actually just released on Spotify all the demos for Hybrid Theory again. So you can go and check out some of the demos of Crawling. The demo of Crawling is better than the original Crawling if you listen to the demo. So good. Not to mention this album was remixed for Reanimation, which is another great album where they got together with so many good people on that one, including Korn, Jonathan Davis, Aaron from Stained, and then a bunch of rappers that I can't remember off the top of my head. But
bunch of rappers.
I mean, I just had it and now I'm talking to you and I lost it, but it was super good. Oh, it was Black Thought, Pharaoh, Monch, I think it is. That one, when he does the Forgotten, I think it is super good. Let's talk about System of a Down. Unless you have something to say. Sorry.
I would like to point out that both of these songs are about suicide, which is strange that both of these songs ended up here at the end. I don't know if that means something about our taste in music.
Rough week.
But
metal.
Yeah, but
very emo-ish, you know.
Yeah. So Chop Suey,
we're emo even in our new metal picks.
Yes, that's right. I recently watched a short documentary about Chop Suey, how the song they didn't have the lyrics completed even when they were recording the album. They had a lot of the music done, but Serge, the singer, didn't have all of the lyrics finished in. More specifically, the bridge, the Father, do you commend my spirit? Why have you forsaken me? I guess, at that point, Rick Rubin, who was producing the album, legendary music producer, basically said, why don't you guys all come back to my place? We'll eat some lunch, blah, blah, blah. And then told Serge to go into his library and just pick a book off the shelf and start reading it for, maybe some sort of inspiration. And he picked up a book that happened to be the Bible and just opened to some random page, and then saw, a Bible verse, which, sort of lends itself to, some pretty cool lyrics, I guess, whether you're religious or not. There's some great stories in the Bible. He took that and sort of just molded it into his own lyrics and made it fit the song. That's how we ended up with the great verse, chorus, bridge of that entire song, which I thought was really cool. It's a pretty awesome song.
Story.
Yeah.
Not sure I heard that. System of a Down is great. Toxicity, Mesmerize, and Hypnotize all hit number one. the one that hit number 15 is actually one of my favorite albums, called Steal This Album.
I love that album.
Steal This Album is a great album. Inner Vision was their single off of that one. Not one of my favorites altogether, but you had Boom on there. You had American Dream Denial on there. And my favorite was Roulette. It was like an acoustic song that is super good. F the System was another really, really good song.
I liked the opener, Chicken Stew, just because it was absolutely ridiculous.
It's such a great one.
Yeah, awesome album.
Streamline was another really, really good one. Their harmonies are so good.
I think
between Serge and Darren.
I think Theta Waves is my favorite song on that album.
It's a good one too.
Yeah.
Well, here we are, guys. We've got Linkin Park's In the End versus System of a Down's Chop Suey. Where do we stand?
Well, it's probably no surprise to anyone that I just spoke about how much I liked System of a Down and all of my favorite songs. So I'm going with Chop Suey right off the bat here.
All right. Well, I'm going to oppose your view and go with the band that everybody thinks of when they think of new metal, and Linkin Park. In the
Limp Bizkit was already eliminated from this list, Andy. I hate to tell you.
Some would say that they are the new metal darlings, and I am going to go with In the End by Linkin Park as well.
Oh, okay. Again, making himself sick with his own choices.
Well, here we are. Linkin Park, In the End, is our new metal song of the new metal times of the genre.
In the times of the metal of the new.
I'm not surprised by that. I kind of thought Linkin Park would take it. But at the same time, I don't know. Maybe I am a little surprised System of a Down made it so far. I don't technically think of them with new metal, but it makes sense. Cold made it a lot further than I thought it would, so that's good.
I think the bracket was very kind to System of a Down. I feel like Randy Miser weighed the left side of the bracket very heavily.
Oh. If they were up against Last Resort, I think it would have been different.
I still would have chosen Chop Suey.
Really?
Chop Suey's amazing. But what about bands that were not on here? We didn't have any Stained on this list. Mud Shovel's a great song. There was no Mudvayne on here.
That was a good song.
I don't know Mudvayne either.
You know the Berber ding, Berber ding, Berber ding. You know that song. Yep, you know that song.
I listened to a couple of these songs thinking I might, but I did not know. I did not know a lot of them. I had so many songs that you guys just
giving in.
Completely ignored.
Edema's really good.
I didn't know the Edema song either. I did.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
What?
And we mentioned Taproot and completely forgot about Taproot.
Poem. Taproot. I had that on there. Poem was a great song.
I did too. Mike, did you have that on there?
You're the one who forgot, Mike.
I guess I did. Seven Dust Black.
Mudvayne Dig.
Skindred. Yep. Why do we not have Skindred on here?
I don't like Skindred. I don't like
RJ, did you not know Union Underground?
I have Union Underground Across the Nation. That was on there.
There's no Slipknot on this list either. Wait and Bleed was a great song.
I hated Slipknot. I'm sorry. I had Chevelle on there with the Red. Mm-hmm. I had Flyleaf. I'm So Sick. I had Godsmack on there. Whatever. And I Stand Alone.
Go away.
I've heard of them, but I didn't know them very well. Incubus Drive.
The best I ever did. Go away.
I had like 9 Linkin Park songs.
Crazy Town.
I did have them on there.
Crazy Town is so bad.
Alien Ant Farm movies.
I did have movies on there too.
Mike did not have movies on there.
No, that's not a new metal song. We had no Power Man 5000 or Static X on here.
I don't know either of those bands.
Power Man 5000.
I had Stained for You on there. I had Trust Company. Well, I don't know why we didn't have Trust Company on here. Downfall. Great song. You had it on there, Mike.
No Soulfly either.
I know we've been indifferent on this one, but Trapped Headstrong was
Trapped Headstrong was on my list, but then I just hate them. So
yeah, that wouldn't have made it very far.
There's a lot of artists that have been on our list.
That's true.
Where we have to.
We actually, it's funny. This podcast has made me hate more people than when we started. We do the research, and I'm like, oh, that guy's way worse.
That guy's a piece of trash.
Yeah,
never want to talk about that person again.
Still sing Tears in Heaven anyway.
Allegedly, that guy's a piece of trash. That's right.
But hey, this is one of our longer episodes, so thank you for sticking with us through it. But we do have some news for you guys. Next week is our finale episode of season 3. So if you've enjoyed the season, we thank you. This is our 3rd season. Mike joined us, I think, maybe once or twice in the 1st season, and then we made him permanent in the 2nd season, and our show got infinitely better with him on the show full time. Now we've just finished season 3, which I thought was a lot of fun. So next week is our finale episode. So please join us for next week's episode. And then we have a couple of episodes we haven't released yet. So even though our finale is next week, I think there'll be 2 more weeks of releases of some of our older stuff, including this episode and the next week. So, and we'll keep in touch, but we usually take a small hiatus in between. And so we'll make sure we keep you guys in the loop as to, if and when we return ever. But
us old guys need a break sometimes,
That's true. We got some families at home and it's the summer and all that deal. So, but hey, we will stay in touch. We don't want you to forget about our faces and our voices. So thank you for joining us again. You didn't ask for it, but we're here anyway. You dab me a hello.